If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. First, it's free. Who doesn't want free? I know I do. Second, it's super easy breezy. I mean, there's a creation tool that even allows you to record and edit right on your podcast and right from your phone or computer. And then Anchor will distribute your podcast so that it's on Spotify. You can make money from your podcast, and it's everything you need to make a podcast, all in one place. This is Mystic and Mage. Hello there. I am Mystic. I have a new podcast called Mystic and Mage. Every day we have conversations with guests who have some pretty passionate opinions about the state of the world. Subscribe now wherever you like to listen to us and share your opinions. We may have you on the show. Oh, and have fun.
Hey, how are you?
Hi. How are you, Madge?
Pretty good, Mystic.
Thank you. Oh my goodness. So it's finally working. We have this down pat, and we're coming to you live from somewhere on the globe.
Yeah, we are.
Oh my goodness. So I know that we were talking a little bit about you were sharing something about Trump, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I had no clue because I haven't been in front of the TV, so I have no clue what's going on. I don't know if you wanted to share it.
Yeah, I was watching. I like to watch what he does, like, or what he says, or listen to what he says directly. Because there's so many different variations of what people think he says, what they thought he said, and then they twist it, no matter who's speaking. So I was talking about yesterday they were referencing Trump. It was Langoni from Home Depot. So basically he was having a conversation with a news anchor, and they were referencing what was said in the media about how the whole mask distribution was being handled. And Langoni was telling the news anchor, yo, it's fine. Everything's fine. I'm watching this happen right now. It's going down. The masks are getting distributed to where they need to be. They don't want to distribute the masks to one place and then have to move them to another. So not every state that doesn't have an emergency situation right now is receiving them. Basically, the government's holding them back.
Which makes sense. Yeah,
3M's holding them back. 3M's the one distributing or manufacturing them, and they have their own distributorships. So they have distributors that distribute the masks to different places, right? Anyway, and those are people that get paid to distribute. That's their business, right? So the Langoni is telling the news anchor,
oh God,
hey, this is happening right now. This is really happening. The news anchor's like arguing with him. No, but I heard this is what's happening. No. He's like, dude, I'm here. I'm at ground zero. I'm in the thick of it. I just got off the phone with 3M. This is what's happening. And the news anchor's like getting his news from, Lucy in aisle 3 of the grocery store. Like, he's literally creating his own news.
So wait, so you're telling me that the CEO of Home Depot was actually online, okay? He was being interviewed by an anchor, and the anchor starts arguing with him, telling him that that's not so, when he actually is distributing the masks because it's going through Home Depot. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Basically,
that's not fake.
It's not getting distributed through Home Depot. It's getting distributed through distributorships that sell to hospitals direct normally, right? So it's not going through Home Depot because that would be like an industrial mask. And in the end, it's all the same.
Yeah, it's all the same.
Right? It's different variations of different masks, right? So anyway, point is, it's just quicker to go through, that you're going to go straight to the hospitals from 3M. Yeah, but no, that's not how it works, because there's people that have businesses that exist
that
contract that's distributing, right? So that 3M can focus on what they're good at, which is not sales. They're good at manufacturing things.
So the CEO of Home Depot wouldn't know. No, of course he wouldn't know.
The CEO of Home Depot was only involved because he was working directly with 3M for just to help with the process and see what was, be faster. And it's like, I don't know how people get their news. Like, if they're getting their news from a dude like that, that's making up his own stories and having no basis of where's your facts, dude? Like, who's your source? Couldn't name a source. I mean, he may as well have said Susie in the grocery aisle told me. Like, it's embarrassing.
But
And
the fact remains is that, you know, we're getting to a point now where we're sick of this, right? It's what? It's March 29th, 2020. We are in the thick of this massive global quarantine, and people are just getting sick of the bullshit. I mean, let me call it out. It's bullshit. It's fake news. We all fucking know it. I don't even know why they're still in existence. If we already know that it's fake and it's a bunch of bullshit, why are we still watching? That's what I'm confused
morbid
about.
curiosity, boredom. You know, maybe you have downtime while you're waiting for the next video game to come through. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know how it's propaganda, but it's not even propaganda that's serving anything except to just confuse people, which I guess is a purpose, right?
Right, but
So
at the
confused sheep will confused sheep will end up
sheeple,
following the ass in front of them. So,
right, the sheeple,
you
right.
know,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
it's so it's I don't know. I don't know what the agenda is. I don't think you do either.
No,
But
nobody knows, right? We won't know. Well, let me not say nobody,
or
right?
do you? You mentioned that you read some things.
Well,
Um,
I mean,
and it wasn't fake news. It was from a Standard & Poor's report, quarterly or annual report. I'm sure
right.
everybody's heard of
You want to
S&P.
get into that? Okay, hold on.
Yeah, because I'm curious.
Let me pull it up. So I haven't read this for a couple hours now, but the one thing that as I was sharing with you, so it was entitled "Global Banking Country by Country Outlook 2020: The Calm Before the Turn." So if somebody were to actually look it up on Google, just put in global banking country by country outlook 2020 the calm before
It's the
the
first
turn.
thing that comes
Yeah.
up.
And the
Yeah.
first thing that comes up is that paper, and
It's
it's
from spglobal.com. Yeah.
.com exactly. That
And all you have to type in to get it to come up is the calm before the turn.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Awesome. Well, I mean, you know, one thing that I pointed out, which I thought was really important, was the fact that this came out November 18th, 2019.
Right.
So the date is really important. And then it also says key takeaways, but the thing that really freaked me out the most was that it says lower for longer rates may avoid a global recession in 2020, but will anchor banks to lower profitability and test business models. How is that possible when that was November 18th, 2019? So that means that all the banks all around the world were in cahoots, and they knew about this because it literally says country by country outlook. And this was sent to all the banks.
Right.
And if I don't, if I'm sorry, this can't get more true than this. Like, this is like the top of the top of the top truth with not one lie. And
Right.
it's disturbing, and it's yeah, it's really disturbing. That's all I can say, you know. And I don't even understand why these people, whoever is controlling this, even needs people on the globe. What's the point? So there's
Well,
point
consumers to drive,
for what?
you know,
They're
for
doing their own
profitability,
thing.
income, to sell us crap so we consume more and create money for them. They're just moving the money from one place to another, out of our pockets into theirs, back into our pockets, into theirs, from his pocket to hers. It's just one big global um, you know, exchange of money.
But if they want
Yeah.
to control the whole globe, which they already
Well,
do,
who's they?
who
Who's
cares
they? Let's
about
figure out who's
the bank?
let's figure out who
No,
they.
I'm not.
The
I
banks.
can't even tell. Yeah, well, yeah, but
Right.
yeah,
It's the global banking outlook. That's what this is.
right, right.
Right.
It's to have one world, you know, economy, to have a one world
Right.
economy. And in the meantime, all these people are dying. Our entire system on this globe has come to a freaking halt. I mean, like I was sharing with you, there are cougars, there's bears, there's deer, all coming down Boulder. Why? Because nobody's on the streets.
Yeah.
Like, WTF, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, where are we? You know,
It's,
I always
yeah.
think, like, somebody hit me, slap me, pinch me. Am I taking crazy pills? Like,
Well, that's how I
literally.
feel right now. I'm looking outside. We went to the grocery store today, and everybody looks at each other suspect. Everybody's avoiding each other by 6 feet. We're following the directions. I mean, I really felt like a sheeple. I did. I definitely felt like a sheep person. I was walking around looking at everybody like they were looking at me. Like maybe it's just where we live in this particular area. I don't know that everybody's just weird, but where I can't speak for other cities, but it's just a very strange experience what we're going through right now. And I wonder how it would work out if we all just went back to our jobs. And as sad as this is going to sound, if the companies opened up with permission from the government, of course, because now the government's in control of all businesses, basically telling them, no, you can't open or we're going to give you a fine.
Like, that's crazy.
Um,
But yeah,
and
you're
worse,
right.
forcing them to take they're going to be forced if they want to keep a business and eat to take small business loans. I'm sure you read that. They're offering small business loans, a link to a page to apply,
Oh, I
which
got,
I looked at myself for
yeah.
my own, and it was like ridiculous. Like it links you to another page to another page. So point is, let's just assume we go through all of the application process, get approved. It's a 3% loan, or so they claim. Um, and that's
Oh,
great. That's like free money.
so 3%. They couldn't make it fucking zero. They had to
Right,
charge
exactly.
something. Like
And mind you,
it's
what's the Fed funds rate right
right,
now? What's the exchange? What's the rate at right now? It's zero.
zero.
It's
Yeah,
basically
that's what
zero.
I'm
Why are you
saying.
charging me 3%?
That's a
Because they want to make a profit
exactly.
off of a
No,
disaster.
no, a
They're
pandemic.
absolute
A
sickos.
global
Absolute sickos.
pandemic, a global pandemic. Yeah, I got sent those papers, and I started working on it, and I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? This is taking me forever and a day, and every time it kept crashing.
Yeah, well, you're lucky. You got it probably from your attorney. The rest of us went on there and had to go to the website and screw around with their directions of you need this document, this document. I just gave up and went and had a drink. But it's which is what most people are gonna do. But
Well, I was smoking pot, so it's fine.
but yeah, it's not a good scene. And it's like I don't want any part of I'd rather like figure out how to live without any handout because at this point I'm
But they're
disgusted with the whole
forcing
thing.
us. Madge, they are literally forcing
Everybody's
us.
going to be forced to, literally. Well, they're not going to have a choice. If this goes on for longer than 2 months, mind you, it's Sunday. So most people would have gotten their last paychecks yesterday.
Exactly.
Now, mind you, a lot of people are working from home
Mm-hmm.
because companies are being told, oh, keep your employees at home, work from home. Doing what? There's no commerce going down. So like maybe 10% of that populace that's working from home actually has serious work. Okay. Because it could be a nonprofit or it could be a
Exactly.
big corporation that is involved in distribution of food or the
Education,
masks or
education.
well, what's education doing right now?
Well,
So education is working. I know it's a good question. Education is working on donors and people donating money to the schools, so they have to keep that going. So those people are employed because they have to watch to make sure funds that are allocated for certain things are being used for what. So absolutely, there's a lot of analysts that are working from home. But I'm saying basically the workload is going to be low. Like think of people that are in the insurance business. Like people are locked in their homes right now. They're not moving. So there's not as many car accidents. There's not as many. So like people will have a lower workload, right? Until it completely peters out. And, you know, then God forbid what's going to happen on the streets. I don't even want to think about it. But so that's the situation we're in right now.
well, I mean, so here's an example of like the work. So everybody in my family that I know has been working. So my brother, for
Right.
example, he works for one of the teams, right? He works for one of the sporting teams, right? And then,
Mm-hmm.
I have another sister who works in the education system, and
Right.
they're working from home. I actually
Right.
three sisters who work in the education field, and then I
Yeah,
have,
they're getting paid to do
yeah,
whatever they'd normally do from home, right?
exactly. And
Yeah.
then I have my other brother who works in a non-for-profit. So go figure.
Right.
Everybody I know except
For now.
is working for now. Exactly. For now.
Right.
So
Except for I think the three or 4 million people that filed for unemployment, I think
I think
the other
it's
day.
more. I think it's more.
Right.
I think it's way
Yeah, they don't know how to count, so we'll just assume they throw numbers at us like 3 trillion and 50 billion. I don't know. I think they pull the numbers out of their arse. But yeah, you're right.
No, we were talking yesterday about, like, how it went from million, then it suddenly went to billion,
Yeah.
and then it went to
No, no,
trillion,
trillions.
and then they were saying something about quadrillion. Somebody was
What
talking about
comes after
right?
trillion? Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean it's ridiculous. So what's the point? Why don't we just stop? No,
Quadrillion.
no,
Yeah.
but look, why don't we just all stop working? And then what? Then what the fuck are they going to do? Because if we don't consume, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
we don't work. What are they going to do?
Yeah.
They're all these huge corporations are just going to go out of business. What if we just
Right.
start growing our own food? Because what is it
Have
that we
you
need?
tried to grow on a north-facing balcony in a particular city, any particular city? Like basically anybody with a north-facing balcony is gonna be fucked. We're gonna starve. We're starving. Nobody's eating.
Oh
I
my
mean, yeah,
God.
you can grow a couple of potatoes in a barrel, maybe if the sun comes up on that enough at the end of the day. I mean, we have to go to the rooftop, I guess. Like there's enough dystopian novels out there where there's
Rooftops.
rooftop growing going on.
Exactly.
If you have a flat top, if you don't, well, build a deck go find some wood and build a deck. Like these are the kind of things we're thinking about in 2020.
And it's scary. It's scary.
It's not a good
Yeah.
scene. But forget about scary. It's stupid. Like I
Oh
can't even
no, come
believe. That's
on.
why I literally feel like we're freaking out. Like
For nothing.
my brain, like I feel like I'm sleep. No, I'm not. I don't think it's for nothing. I really feel like I woke up into a nightmare. Like I can't even believe I'm actually thinking these things. And I think millions of people around the world are thinking these things. I'm seeing people post online about wanting to have chickens. Now, these are people that can't take care of a cat or a dog and they want chickens. So the girl put online because I know the girl from grammar school, and she puts on there, she says, what does anybody have advice on how to raise chickens? And I'm thinking, girl, you're going to kill those chickens.
Yeah,
Just
no.
leave the chickens with the farmers. Like you don't know anything about chickens.
That's exactly
Don't
what
try.
happened. That's exactly what is happening in London right now and in Germany. I mean, it's not just the United States. I mean, it's everywhere now. And I think about the people who actually live on farms. They're doing good. I have a couple people who live on
Well,
farms.
not really. So the food's rotting. I've been reading direct from farmers, like because I'm the girl that likes to get her news directly from the horse's mouth. So direct quotes from farmers posting themselves on Twitter, Facebook, basically saying since September, actually, since the last harvest, August, September, because they didn't have enough migrant workers to help them pull crops, they literally don't. The food was rotting, left to rot.
Now, is this in the West Coast or in the Midwest?
Multiple sources around the country.
Okay. Okay.
So this is, you could just Google food rotting and a bunch of stuff will
Okay,
come
I'm gonna
up,
do that
and
because
you
this
could
is
just read.
fucking nuts.
And it's right, yeah. So what's happening is because they listen, if that's fake news and it's coming from them, then and that exists out there, like fake news that somebody's like it's in advertising, it's in news where people are putting out themselves. They're pretending to be a farmer and they're disseminating fake information that exists. It's
Yeah,
crazy as it
no, it's
sounds. So,
happening right now.
but right now I'm assuming what they're saying is true. So they literally are complaining because of what was going on with the borders, that we don't have enough migrants to come out. Well, what's happened is
Mm, mm,
it has become harder and harder
mm.
for migrant workers in California for
Right.
specifically
That's why I was asking whether it
to,
was in the West or in the Midwest, because primarily the migrant
well,
workers.
people in Wisconsin. I have a farmer friend in
Mm-hmm.
Wisconsin. I don't live in Wisconsin, but she's in Wisconsin,
Mm-hmm.
and she said that this, I haven't talked to her in a while, but she was having to pay them $18 an hour because she couldn't get anybody. And this was beginning of this was 2 years ago. So it was starting to be like they were closing, they weren't allowing people to come in and work, and it was just
I
getting harder and
remember.
harder and
I
harder.
remember this. I remember this. Yep. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And no, I mean it's just how it is. Normally they don't make $18 an hour. That's actually high for a
Of
migrant
course, that's
worker.
fucking high.
So,
I mean, minimum
right.
wage is
But
$15 in this country, right?
well, not in most places, but in some major cities it
Right.
is. Yeah. And some places it's still $9, some places $8.75. I mean, it's absolutely sad. Um so it's it is what it is. But the long and short of what I'm trying to say is that food shortages. So even the farmers are experiencing problems with being able to produce food, which then puts us relying on foreign food, right? So fine, we grow food in Mexico. Okay.
But
So
wait,
now we're
wait, wait,
bringing it
wait, wait,
across.
wait,
Go
wait.
ahead.
So we buy food from all over the world. It's not just
Well, of course.
yeah.
Yeah.
So but primarily the meat is made here, and so is the corn. Like that, those are our primary staples in this country, right?
Right. And soy.
Um,
Yeah. Soy and grain. And
right.
yeah.
Because I'm reading here on what you said. So I'm seeing the
Yeah.
Guardian, New York Post, Business Insider, Bloomberg, Washington Post. They're all talking about the food is rotting. But
Right.
but I don't know. I don't know. I'd love for us to interview like a
Like a real
yeah,
farmer.
a real farmer. So I have a couple
Right.
friends who are farmers, and like I have a friend who owns a cattle ranch.
Let's go with the cattle ranch because I want to hear about that.
Yeah.
I want to hear about what they're like. I'm curious. Like if you call one of them from Colorado, probably Colorado, right?
Mhm.
Call them and see what the real situation there is, like what's going, like we know the cattle ranches for many years now have had slimmer profit margins because people are, sadly, the population is poorer than it used to be
But
instead
that
of
but that was
getting
but
better.
let's be real.
So they're buying ground chuck, ground
Yeah,
beef instead of
but that was
steaks.
orchestrated. That was all
No.
orchestrated, including the farmers moving to bigger
Okay.
cities. That's part of the
Okay, go on.
agenda because they want to be able to control the population. And if all the people are spread out on farms across the United States of America, guess what? They're harder to control. But if most of the people in the United States of America are all in the big cities, it's easier. It's easier. Their job is easier.
Right.
So, when you have Willie Nelson and they're doing farm aid, that was all constructed. That was done on purpose, you know. And I could send you links on that. But, I will definitely get a hold of my friend. I went to college with him, and he does have a cattle ranch. And you're right. You're definitely right, Matt. That this is not fun at all. So I want to leave everyone with something positive. I want to leave this conversation with a positive note. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah.
Like I mean, he's talking about, Easter. I don't know. When do you think that this global pandemic is going to is going to end? I don't know.
I honestly think it's going to drag on for much longer, and that's why I'm, Mrs. Paranoid. Um, so I do think it's going to drag on for
Longer
longer.
than April.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's March 29th right now. Yeah, I mean April, if you're talking April, what is it? April 7th is Easter? Hang on, when is Easter?
No, I thought it was in like
When-
24th, something like that.
I forget.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so Sunday, April 12th, babe.
It's
But
Easter?
you're right. I mean, people are, yeah, it's Sunday, April 12th is the Catholic Easter. The Greek Easter, I think, is a week after or before.
Okay.
I always,
What's
yeah.
April 24th then? Hold on. April
Why did you just say that?
I don't know. You know how I have like
No, that's
fear
spooky
inside.
because April 24th, that date has been in my head for like, I don't know, the last 2 to 3 days.
To
And I don't know what's happening on April 24th, but hopefully nothing catastrophic. Anyway, positive
Oh,
note.
oh, wait. Okay, hold on, hold on, hold on. Oh, this is so strange. Okay, April 24th, 2020, calendar with holidays and countdown USA. So, April 24th is the first day of Ramadan.
No.
Yes.
Who told you that?
I don't know. I'm reading it. I'm reading
No,
it on
Ramadan
Google.
is not in April.
Yes, yes. And that right, I thought it was in, oh my God, I thought it was in
You're right. Well, that doesn't make any
right.
sense. Okay, so it's April 23rd it begins the evening of April 23rd, so Ramadan officially is April
That's
24th.
weird.
Well,
I don't
okay.
understand
That's
that.
kind of, uh-huh.
I thought it
Okay,
was,
well, let's just hope everything's
wait a
gonna be
second, but
okay.
I thought it was
Because
later.
you know us.
I thought it was
Yeah,
in
I
in the
thought so too.
fall.
I don't know what's going on.
Maybe they have two. I
Like,
don't know. I have to research that.
no.
Who knows? But I honestly thought it was in the fall, and now all of a sudden, yeah, that's so strange. Okay, something positive.
Yeah,
I don't know. I was talking about the possibility of having my meditator, and we
yeah.
could talk to her. But yeah, I don't know. Something positive. Something. Well, I went for a walk this morning.
Who better who better to have? Yeah, I don't do I don't know. I don't What else can I think of? Let's hope that everything works out. How about that for
Yeah,
positive?
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
so I went for a walk and then also I did church online.
And it's good. And in the end, the getting freaked out, I get calm because then I realize the populace, we are actually in control. Like the people. Like the quote unquote government and the people that are like making these decisions. At any point, if we all decided not to listen and do what we're going to do, forget about corporations and the fact that we can't go back to work, or if we have a small business, we have no customers because everybody's afraid to buy. Um, it's forget about all that. Like we would literally have to figure out a way to make it work.
Right, which is why I was talking about
That's
let's
hopeful.
learn how to grow our own food. That's the
Right.
But I mean,
And then I made a joke about chickens.
right.
But yeah, no, we could definitely grow our own food. That is correct. And that because that's really all you need. You need shelter and you need
Well,
food,
yeah,
right?
hydroponic, right? You know.
Hmm.
And then everything that we need is online. Um, but but yeah, so my positivity.
If we have the internet. I'm just
No,
kidding.
no, no.
I'm a real doomsday
You
prepper. No, I'm just
you
kidding. Go
know,
ahead.
Madge, you want to hear something crazy? So
Yeah.
there's like this thing that's been floating around that there's supposed to be either 3 days or 10 days of complete darkness. And that they're gonna talk about that they're gonna reset the global, currency, everything's gonna be reset. All the bills, everything is gonna be reset. And that's the message that they're going to be sending out, supposedly, um, during the 3 or 10 days of darkness. So here's my what I'm sending. Everybody should get a charger for their phone. I'm hoping the phone works. Um, Try not to be alone. That I know it sounds crazy and it's supposed to be the opposite, right? But this fear mongering has to stop. And I think that there's enough love and care in the world that we can help each other. Like we can never forget to help each other
That's exactly true.
ever.
That's what it's going to
Yep.
take.
So
Totally.
that's my positive note. I love everyone, no matter what, no matter how crazy they may act. I think that, I won't talk to everyone, but I send nothing but love for everyone. Yeah.
Right.
So
Aw, see, you got it.
all right. Well, thanks everyone. And we wish you Nothing but love and safety during these crazy times.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
True that.
Peace
Okay.
out. Thank you so much for listening. Stay safe, subscribe, and review. We will come at you with many more topics, and remember, united we stand.